pumpkin carving night. Dylan's doing a non-traditional. Instead of the top, we're cutting from the bottom. Why are we doing that?
So the stem is meant to be like the nose on it.
Okay.
And then the eyes will go up here, and then there's gonna be like a mouth down here.
Okay, very cool. And Miss Layla, what are we doing?
I'm doing crossed eyes with like a silly mouth.
Ooh, nice. Is it gonna be spooky or silly?
Spooky and silly.
We have a spooky and silly pumpkin theme. I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm gonna try something different this year. Time to carve my pumpkin. I'm gonna try something a little different this year. Instead of howling it out like normal and carving a face holes into it, I'm going to try to carve a wood spirit in my pumpkin. So this is gonna be my face, and I'm thinking somewhere around here is gonna be his brow line. So sorry if I sound weird, I've been fighting a head cold for a few days. I'm just gonna start kind of wedging in kind of a line to be his brow line. Just kind of pressing in, wiggling a little bit, trying to make it somewhat equal in length. So now I've got that line kind of established. I'm just gonna come up underneath and just kind of peel away some of the pumpkin. From here, what I'm gonna do is try to imagine like a center line, and then I wanna know where's his nose gonna be. So I'm gonna put his nose roughly here. So I follow my center line, I kinda wedge in a little bit like that. I'm gonna make it a little larger. So this is the bottom of our nose, this is our brow line. We want to basically come from the bottom, middle of the nose up. And you can kind of picture, here's the center line. We want to come up, kind of like that. Like that. So that's gonna kind of be the line we want to take. And we're just gonna kind of trace down to that line, and then trace down to that edge, and then come back in on an angle and kind of just cut out a little bit of a groove in here. All right, so now we want to do is kind of define this nose a little bit better. Need to put some nostrils in. So I've got this kind of curved gouge. This might be not enough of a curve, but it might be all right. So we're gonna just come in here and kind of chip away a little bit and kind of round that and kind of make that nostril there. So now you're starting to see kind of the curve. We'll come up here, kind of define those nostrils a little bit more, kind of round those out a bit. So now we're kind of getting more of a shape around it, right? So you've got the nostril coming down, and we can kind of curve around this edge a little bit there. And that edge there a little bit. Now we're starting to get more of a nose. Thin that out, level that out a bit more. So now we've got our kind of our face taking shape here. So what I want to do is find there, and there is the edges of our eyes. Kind of make them a little bit. So wood spirit is, he's an old man. He's been around. They're spirits of the woods essentially. They carve them into trees and things. This guy's eyes a little messed up. Try to bring that up a bit. Okay. So they're always old men, long beards, stuff like that. So we're gonna make him kind of sad looking. We've got his eyes kind of drooped down a little bit. So how do we get his eyeballs in? So let's worry about that later. So basically we need to come in here and kind of wedge up to this line. So we're going to trace our line with this tool here, with the wedge or the gouge. Define our eye a bit. We got an eye now. So now we're going to do the same on this eye. So I'm kind of looking over to the right a bit. So we're just going to kind of drill in with our pencil here. A bit of an eyeball. And then try to carve a bit of a circle around it. Our kind of bowl gouge here. Now we want to kind of define the brow a bit. Kind of start to see the makings of eyebrows here. Thin that out on the eye, give it a little more definition. So I almost cut my eyebrow off there because I'm pushing too hard. I want to give a little more room for the nose. So now we want to kind of define kind of the mustache a little bit. So we're gonna come from the center of his nose. I'm gonna use this pumpkin carver tool for my kids' carving. And kind of outline big mustache. See, we're starting to get our mustache defined a bit. This will kind of turn into a beard too. This will kind of get all carved away and we'll just kind of define some cheeks and stuff. This will eventually turn into some hair. All right, so we're back. I took a lunch break and came back and started just kind of detailing what I could from him and just got kind of lost in time and did a lot, but this is kind of where he's turned into. It's not the best work I've done, but basically tried to slim out his face. Got his nose a little more defined. I'm not happy with this at all. I'm gonna try to smooth that out a bit. Getting kind of sunken cheeks. His eyes aren't the best, but I got eyebrows in. His mustache has started giving him a beard and a bit more of a mouth area and kind of gave him more of a sunken look. Normally I'll paint this to, if it was wood, to like define certain areas, but I can't paint wet pumpkin. So I've got the idea that I'm going to take the blowtorch and try to kind of caramelize certain areas. It's working out. This hair I did with this V tool. So it's basically just a big V with a blade on the end of it. So that's the V tool. And basically I just kind of wrote in there and little cuts, little slashes, and that kind of gave it some color or some definition. You know, it's all about mainly shadows. You want to create valleys so that you can get darkness and create shadows to give some depth to it. So kind of giving him a little bit more definition there. Cleaned up his eyes a little bit. Gonna take some of this char off a little bit. That one's a little too dark for the other side. Scrape a little bit of this off. I don't know if this is gonna last like in the first rain that hits it. I'm thinking as it dries, like the thinner spots that are closer to the inside should dry first, right? Because there's less material, and that should darken as it dries. So I bet you this thing will look better with age. Like the low spots will darken, the high spots will darken slower, and it might just keep bringing out more and more and more kind of definition and definement, you know. Just gonna carve, kind of pop out little holes with the nostrils just to give it a little more shade, depth. Define these crow's feet a little bit more. But I wonder how much more I can carve out of this before I get too thin. Like, I would like to give his shape, a little more shape to his head, to the side of his, you know, to make it look like he's coming out a little bit more, but I'm worried that I'm getting too thin there. I could kind of probably carve it quite a bit off the bottom though, make him look like he's coming out more. So maybe I'll do that. His eyes are definitely derpy. I should have just put the same one up there. What are you gonna do? He looks like a crazy old man now, which is cool, I guess. All right, so I'm going to try to shape his face in a little bit more and make it look like he's coming out more. And that will be it.